Chapter 7. Hot soapy water threaded long blonde hair, washing the day from 87's broad shoulders. The outbreak of fires across the east side of the third appeared to be a result of unlined glazing. Inter had been forced to cut a few corners in order to finish early when O2 levels outside the dome had plummeted. A handsome smile broke out on 87. It had allowed him to increase the water quota for the third. Much to Hobbs's annoyance, he chuckled. And thanks to the report, till the damage was repaired and lining installed, Hobbs couldn't do a thing about it. Having been grown in a lab, raised as a test subject and trained as a soldier, 87 was no longer simply part of Inter's security force. He was part of a new generation, a new species and generic arm of Inter's, an organic Swiss Army knife of sorts, able to tackle any of Inter's growing needs, combining the best of human DNA with AI. In Hobbs's mind, however, 87 could see it made him both an asset and a threat. While 87 viewed himself as human, to the best of his ability anyway, enjoying all their vices, not all samples shared his love of human life, given their treatment early on from handlers at Inter. Toweling off, he strode through his room, glancing at the bed sheets he and 106 left this morning. For someone who excelled as a lover, she remained a staunch advocate for war, demanding samples rise and take their place as the more dominant species. 87 sighed. All samples had access to Mobius, the living archive connecting and preserving all living things, a metaphysical circuit of sorts, allowing their consciousness to pass seamlessly through space and time without activating their biological trackers and alerting their handlers at Inter. They'd all enjoyed countless lives in Mobius, had tasted the many cycles of empire and life's indulgence. But some, like 106, still believed themselves to be the exception to the rule. 87 smirked, while samples did dramatically exceed their human counterparts in both knowledge and physical ability. He knew that wouldn't be enough to maintain power, which meant attempting to secure it now was fruitless unless you were a proponent of death or suffering. Over the years, 87 had come to suspect that their source code could provide the missing ingredient, the answer to lasting power, that it could tip the scales and break old cycles, creating a lasting system. Till then, he was fine playing along. For the most part, they were revered and respected, celebrities among the people, a mysterious, masked task force of superheroes. He could think of worse roles to play. The wine and women alone made his golden handcuffs worthwhile, but as he stared at his bed sheets, to his frustration, it wasn't his many malleable partners who caught his imagination, but Grace. Loose red curls would no doubt be strewn over another book by now, escaping her unhappy situation at home. Her stepmother, Aaron, with all the appearance of a butterfly, had the teeth of a bull shark. His jaw firmed at the protective instinct that gave rise to, reminding him of Alex's earlier observation. The source code was changing him, protecting itself. It was no doubt a safety mechanism Morrigan had constructed, extremely effective. A hard smile touched his face. But not on him. He would make sure of that. Flicking through tomorrow's itinerary, he could see their new head of intelligence would arrive, Layden Canning, thanks to Arden Wright's push to distribute security powers. As if he wasn't busy enough with puppetry, handling Hobbs and the rest of them. Throwing on black slacks and a t-shirt, he slicked back long hair and made for duty. He'd be on security and diagnostics the rest of the day. He slumped, head briefly resting on the door, praying for divine strength he didn't usually entertain, to save him from the inevitable boredom. Asterisk. Meanwhile in the first, Erin strode through large double doors of the director's office, flashing her sequin smile. "Erin, I'm so glad you were able to pop down at such short notice." "No problem, Etienne." She smoothed down her dress and sat. "So, all that's left is to discuss terms." Erin beamed as relief flooded in. She hadn't thought it would be this easy to get back into the industry after such a long time away. "Now, as her mother, I understand you're aptly qualified to negotiate on her behalf. Her being under 18, we would need you on board." Erin felt the ground shift beneath her. "I'm sorry?" "For the part of Elizabeth, Grace." Etienne watched color drain from her cheeks. "She was running lines for me. I was auditioning for the part." Etienne sobered. "I see. Erin, I must confess, the runs I personally review, I watch on mute. It's the persona I get a feel for at this stage. The look and chemistry of the character. Grace would be perfect for the role of Elizabeth. We're determined to sign her. I'm sure, given your experience, in connection to Grace, we could cast you as the mother. The room had begun to swirl wildly round her. A lot of time has passed since you were last with us. Etienne stroked his hand up Aaron's thigh, recalling their time fondly. But people are desperate for distraction. They don't want to be reminded of getting old. Youth is what people pay for, be it cosmetics or entertainment. The starring role must be young for a box office hit. Takes time and investment to create a star you see, years of reaping rewards from their brand if we're to make a healthy return. And with AI, the competition's fierce. All we have left to keep us in the game is authenticity and the circus of celebrity. Aaron remained deathly silent. The success of the film will wash back on you and other supporting actors. It's a great opportunity to get your feet wet again. Think it over. Etienne gestured to his assistant, who came over to show Aaron out. The part of the mother's yours. If you can get Grace on board, she'll need to lose a few pounds by next month, of course. You know how I run things. I demand a lot, but there are many opportunities. Be ashamed to miss a young star like that. Manicured nails cut into the palms of her hands as Aaron bid Etienne good day and made her way to the autopod. Grace had taken everything from her, even this. As the pod door hissed closed, the view through the window flashed by and the past flooded back, before their move to Hydra. The night Michael brought Grace home, there'd been a dust storm, and as he walked in, it took a moment for the air to clear. She'd noticed the expression on his face long before the child in his arms, and as the penny dropped, it brought the value of her entire world down with it. Who knew? A penny for your thoughts could purchase all of hell. She barely noticed the pod pulling up at home, could feel her blood boil. She had been prepared to meet any of Etienne's sordid demands. The exchange would have been fair in comparison to those she'd endured with her unfaithful husband the past 16 years. But now she was past it. Well, if Etienne wanted the little brat, he could have her. A supporting role was the least she was owed.